I think this will be my last video for today. I think I made like 6 videos. Alright, low temperature. 5 Alaskan cities are shown below. What's the difference between the warmest and the coldest? Alright, so we go back to your integers day. The warmest city is obviously the furthest one on the number line, which would be this one. And the coldest city would be the one furthest on the left, so the warmest. And the coldest one would be the furthest left on the number line, which is this one, so coldest. What's the difference between the warmest and the coldest? Well, 18 minus negative 24, which is 18 plus 24, we get 42 degrees. Again, you can do it that way. You think of negative 24 over here and 18 over here, positive 18. Let's put 0 somewhere over here. So if you want to go from here all the way to 18, think about the distance between those 2 points. Well, from negative 24 to 0, 24 units. And from 0 to 18 is another 18 units. So if you add those two, you get 42. So the difference between those two is 42. Two, temperature on a mountain peak was 7 degrees Fahrenheit by 6. By 8, the temperature dropped to 0 degrees. The temperature continues to drop at the same rate, which is the best estimate for the temperature at 11. Alright, so let's write this down. 6 p.m., 7, 8 p.m., 9 p.m., 10 p.m., 11 p.m. So what we do know right now is that the temperature is 7 degrees. At 8 p.m., the temperature had dropped to 0 degrees. So we know that if the temperature continues to drop at the same rate, which is the best estimate for the temperature at 11 p.m. So what's the temperature here? Well, from 6 to 8, right? It dropped from 7 to 0. So it went down, if it's constant, 3.5, right? 3.5 degrees, 0 degrees, and it's dropping by 3.5 degrees, right? Every hour. So at 0, if it drops another 3.5, it would be negative 3.5. And then at 10 o'clock, which is 1 hour, it would be another 3.5, which takes us to negative 7. Right? And then at 11 would be another negative 3.5, which takes us to 10.5. Which is the best estimate? Well, right here. 10 degrees Fahrenheit, closest one. Okay. 3 is up here. The temperature would be 15 degrees more than the temperature on the thermometer above. What temperature would be 15 degrees more? Well, 15 degrees more. So the current temperature right now, according to this, is about from 0. It's here, right? Which would be negative 5. So if you're at negative 5 and you're asked what temperature would be 15 more than that. Well, if you're at negative 5 and you go 15 units, sorry, here is a number line. Right, here's a number line, and you're at negative 5 right now, and I tell you, hey, go 15 that way, where would you land? Well, negative 5 plus 15 would be positive 10. So 3 is C. 4, hot air balloons at 212 feet above the ground. It goes down, so here is the ground, which is 0. Here's the hot air balloon, right? And right now it's at 212 feet above ground. It goes down 72, so it goes down 72. So let's think about where it goes. So it's 212 minus 72. 212 minus 72. It goes down to 140. So if it drops minus 72, it is now at 140. Right, so the balloon comes all the way down here. And then it goes up 37, and then from 140 is up plus 37. So 140 plus 37 takes us to 177. Oh, which expression? I'm sorry, so I'm doing all this. So it's 212 minus 72 plus 37. Anything that looks like that? Well, this is not it because it says plus 72, right? Plus 72 would mean that the balloon went up 72, so A is gone. B, 272 minus negative 72, yes, that means it went down, and then plus positive 37, which means it went up. So we don't even have to look at the other ones. Correct answer is B. Five, account balance is $42.67. See deposit and withdrawals is then represented as these numbers. What is her balance now? So you start $42.67, you add 50, then she takes away 15, then she takes another away 21, then she adds 16.25, and then she adds another 25. So what's the final account balance? Wow, 42.67. We're going to go plus 50. And then we go 42.67. Sorry, plus 50, minus 15, minus 21, plus 16.25, and then plus 25. 97, 92. There you go. You have a calculator, right? So these questions shouldn't pose too much of a problem. Which of the following numbers is closest to the value of the expression below? All right. Again, there's not much to say about these ones because this is not our first unit where you didn't have a calculator. You do have one now. So we can do the parentheses, 4.8 times 1021, enter, and then we can divide that by 495, and we get 9.9000, so it's about 9.9, and then we can multiply that by 5.1. We get about 50.49, and that's the closest one. Simplify. You can do the distributive property first, which is what I'll do. Right? 4 times a half would be 2, plus 4 times 3 over 8 will be 3 over 2, minus, and 5 over 8 times 2 is 10 over 8. Okay, so you can do a couple of changes here. So 3 over 2 is 1.5 or 1.5, minus, and then 10 over 8, if you simplify that, becomes 5 over 4, or 1 and 1/4. So 2 plus 3.5 is 3.5, and then 3.5 minus 1 and 1/4 should be 2 and 1/4. Final answer, C. Again, you have a calculator for these. 8. Divide. So it's a negative divided by a positive, so I know my answer is going to be a negative. So this is gone, this is gone. I don't even want to look at it. Right, so it's negative, and then negative 2 over 7 times the reciprocal, which is 5 over 3. Can we simplify anything? No. So it's negative 10 over 20. Number 9, evaluate. Oof. Can we simplify anything? All right, let's just do it. So we get 7 plus 0.25. Let's find out what that parentheses look like. And inside, negative 2/3, the negative times a negative, so it's going to become a positive. So 2/3 times 15, we can simplify. 3 and 5 becomes 5. 2 times 5 becomes 10. So all that becomes positive 10. Close brackets, minus a half. So now we can do 7 plus 0.25 times 10 is just 2.5. Right? Close brackets, minus a half. 7 plus 2.5 is 9.5. And 9.5 minus a half is just simply. So 9 is also C. 10, where's 10? Oh, here it is. Absolute value. Okay, so we have to figure out the absolute value first before multiplying by negative 3. So we have negative 3. Absolute value is 6 minus 10. Well, 6 minus 10 first is negative 4. Right, so plus 4. Don't multiply yet. Find the absolute value of negative 4. So negative 3, absolute value of negative 4 is 4. And then plus 4. Now I can multiply. Negative times positive is a negative. So I get negative 12 plus 4, and that whole everything gives me negative 8. Again, absolute value, so do the exponents first, right? Take care of that. 2 to the third power is 8. 3 to the second power is 9. 8 minus 9 is negative 1. Once you calculate, evaluate the expression inside the absolute value symbol, we got 9 is negative 1, and now you can take the absolute value. Absolute value of negative 1 is just 1. That is B. 12, what's the value of the expression below? Okay. Again, take care of, simplify this, right? So 2 to the second power is 4 times negative 3 to the second power. Remember, that 2 is telling everybody inside the parentheses to multiply by itself twice. So it's negative 3 times negative 3, which gives us a 9. Minus sign is going to wait. 4 times 9 is 36. Take the absolute value now. Absolute value is 36. Absolute value is 36, 36, and then bring that minus sign there. Final answer, negative 36. 13. Which equation is true? Well, 5 or 8. Well, negative 5 divided by negative 8 is positive. So that becomes 5 or 8. But because of that minus sign that we put in the front, it becomes negative. So this is not it. Negative 3 divided by negative 4, it's a negative divided by negative, so you eventually get 3 over 4, which is positive. And here it says it's negative, so B is also not. C. Well, if you think about it, inside the parentheses we have a positive divided by a negative, so we get a negative number, right? Negative 12 or 17. And then plus, now that you take that and use with a negative that's outside, you got a negative, and that becomes a positive. So that whole thing, this whole thing becomes positive 12 over 17, which is equal to the positive 12 over 17 on the other side. So C looks good. D. Well, that thing here is a positive divided by a negative, so that still becomes, this whole thing becomes negative. And then again, this one, it's a negative inside the parentheses, and the negative that's outside, these two make it a positive, so it becomes 9 over 13 positive, and obviously not the same. So correct answer, only correct answer, is C. 14. Each of the following phrases describes a numerical value. The absolute value of 9 is 9. The opposite of 9 is negative 9. So which is true about the relationship between the numerical values? The opposite of 9 is equal to the absolute value of 9. Yep. The opposite of 9, the opposite of 9, which is negative, is equal to the absolute value of 9. So no, that's not true. Are these two equal to each other? The absolute value of 9 is less. The absolute value of 9 is less than the opposite of 9. That's also not true, because the opposite of 9 is less than the absolute value of 9. The opposite of 9 is the same distance from 0 on the number line as the absolute value of 9. Right? Negative 9 is 9 units away from 0, and 9 is also 9 units away from 0. So this one is correct. Last one. The absolute value of 9, which is 9, is farther from 0 on the number line than the opposite of 9. That's not true. They're both equidistant from 0. So the only one is C. 15. Which is true when a negative number is subtracted from a positive number? Which is true when a negative is subtracted from a positive number? So what happens when a negative is subtracted from a positive number? So let's take an example. 5 minus, I don't know, pick any negative, negative 8. So the answer will always be what? Well, this eventually turns into 5 plus 8, right? So the difference is always negative? No, the difference is always positive? Yes. And you can try that with whatever number you want. Right? So if you take a negative, you subtract it from a positive, right? You're always going to get a positive. So think about the example I gave you guys a long time ago. So let's say you have $5, right? And I'm going to come to you. So let's say you have $5, and I come to you and I say, I'm going to take away from you negative 8, debt that you don't have. Right, so if I'm going to take debt that you don't have, what am I eventually giving you? I'm giving you like a gift card that you can eventually use at a later date, right? So I'm going to take -8. So if you have $5 and I come to you and I say, listen, that $8 that you owe someone, I'm going to take it away from you, right? In that sense, what did I actually do to you? I actually gave you that $8, right? It's a plus. It's something that increased whatever you had in value. Okay. Okay, is that it? Now, those of you who thought this was too much, it really isn't.